Hello friends, and welcome back to r/IDontWorkHereLady. I hope you've already subscribed so you don't miss the new videos. And here's our first story for today. Pour water on me, lose your money. So I'm relatively new to Reddit, but I love this sub. This just happened to me last night, so I thought about posting it for all of you to get a kick out of. So I have a hobby-like job working for a casino party company. They get contracted by companies to come out and set up some casino tables so their employees can fake gamble just for fun during their parties and events. Most of the time, employees buy tickets, like one ticket for $50, and each ticket's worth $2,000 in fake chips. That's how they play. You can turn in your chips for prize tickets and go through a raffle to win prizes at the end. It's a lot of fun, and it's easy money for somebody in college like yours truly. We had a gig last night at a nice hotel ballroom for a really good company, too. I won't say the name, but we were required to dress in all black with button-up shirts and slacks. We looked like the actual staff of the hotel, but with a name tag with our owner's casino parties text on it. So I can sort of see why I'd be mistaken for the hotel staff. Cue in a really good night, having fun, good people, good table dealing. I swap out with someone to take a break, and I walk about to grab a drink of water. Now here's where things go completely downhill. What looks to be 30-year-old woman comes up to me and asks for a refill on her drink. It goes a little bit like this. We'll call her Thick Skull, or TS for short. TS, excuse me, could I ask you to refill my drink? I'll be right here. Me, sorry, I don't work here. I'm one of the dealers at the tables. I can grab someone for you, though. TS, you're clearly in the waitstaff uniform. I know you work here. I've seen you help others. Lied to my face. I was at my table all night. Me, I'm sorry, but I really can't serve you. Let me grab someone who can. TS, you do work here. She stepped on my foot as I stepped away. I then took my back foot, and now I was a little PO'd because I was wearing some nice shoes here that I paid for. And I'm proud of that because I'm poor as crap. Me, okay, look, I told you I don't work here. You can find someone else. Hopefully you won't step on them. She now grabs the attention of an actual waitstaff member and asks her to grab the manager, and she hesitantly does, and I was actually stunned. Me, you don't understand. I don't work here. Keep saying that to me. You'll regret it. Here comes the manager. Manager, everything okay, ma'am? TS, this man refuses to serve me the drinks I asked for. He looks at me and asks my name, and I pointed at my name tag and told him, and he immediately knew I didn't work here. Manager, I'm sorry, but he doesn't work here. Can I get your drink? She freaks out at this, like full-blown screeches. This is stupid. I'm not an idiot. She proceeds to grab my water and flings it at me, and it gets all over me. Manager, ma'am, we do not act like this here. I'm going to ask you to leave. Leave. She starts throwing what I can only describe as a tantrum and then gets escorted out by the security they had on site. The table she was at had 10 of her tickets. 10. She'd also redeemed some earlier. That's over $500 she spent with no prizes. She waited until after the party was over to speak to my manager, so about 2 hours later when we were breaking down the setup, and demanded a refund. He denied her and said she can go on her merry way, and told her the exact reason she couldn't was because she dumped water on his employee and he won't stand for that. She stormed out after bickering for what seemed like forever. I'm not the owner. I don't even work here, lady. Greetings. Today's tale happened around 17 years ago, but somehow I forgot it. My business partner reminded me of it during lunch yesterday. Now, English is not my first language, so apologies in advance for any grammar errors. There is a bit of a race and gender component on this story. I really hope it doesn't break the sub rules, as it comes from the lady customer on the story, not myself. We live in a Caribbean country. We've run a very small IT consulting/tech support company since the mid-90s. Our main source of revenue at the time came from small local businesses, as well as small multi-store chains like this particular dry cleaning business. Now, for those of you who haven't had personal experiences with dry cleaning services, for my time spent working on their computers, I can tell you that sometimes it can really be as bad as portrayed on sitcoms. Tardiness, damaged or lost clothes, angry customers yelling and waving their arms in the air, etc. This particular day, I'm trying to resuscitate one of their computers when a lady comes in to pick up her clothes. After more than the usual wait time, she finally receives her clothes, only to find out that a particularly delicate and apparently expensive garment is damaged beyond repair. She starts complaining about it and demanding a refund right then and there. The manager on duty happened to step out of the store for a few minutes to attend to a small family emergency. The employee that tended to her explained that she was indeed entitled to a refund, but it had to be authorized by the manager and she was not present at the time. Due to the cost of the garment, per company policy, an immediate refund was not applicable anyway, as the store had to research and confirm the item's price before granting it. The angry lady became exasperated and then started shouting at me. "Stop playing dumb, mister! I don't need to wait for a manager's authorization. As you're clearly the owner of the store, you don't need to waste my time. Just issue the refund to me now." I literally looked behind me and then looked back at her, pointing a finger to my chest, replying to her, "Sorry, are you talking to me?" AL: "Yes, I'm talking to you. I don't believe you're letting this happen without stepping in. You have to take care of your customers." Me: "I'm not the owner, madam. Sorry for the confusion." AL: "Oh, please, do you really think I'm going to believe it? You're obviously the owner." Me: "Why would you believe that? I don't even work here. I just came to fix their computers." AL: "Oh, come on. Are you going to keep lying to my face? You're white and a handsome man. You're obviously the owner." Let me pause to explain here. This is a race and gender component of the story. The front office staff are all Afro-Latina girls, the predominant race in my country. I am Latino myself. My grandmother was Afro-Latina. My great-grandmother was black. But being the paternal grandson / maternal great-grandson of Spanish immigrants, I can pass as Caucasian anywhere. Angry lady has a skin tone similar to mine. Me: "Sorry, got you confused, lady, but I'm not the owner, just a contractor. I'm not even an employee. I don't have any say in this matter." Angry lady keeps on insisting, so I had no other choice but to take out my key fob, point her to my 11-year-old Corolla, incidentally parked in front of the store right next to her brand new Range Rover, and remote unlock it. Me: "They have 3 stores now, plus 6 additional drop-off locations, and they plan to open a few more in the next couple years. I'd ballpark their per-store investment at $80,000 to $100,000. Do you think I would drive that heap if I was the owner of this chain?" Angry lady at this point mumbled something unintelligible, angrily picked up her belongings, and stormed out of the store, screeching her expensive SUV's tires on the way out. "I don't work here, and I can't understand you, sir." Okay, I got one, but I'm not a native speaker, so please excuse my poor English. Context: I'm French, and I live in Paris. So, I was supposed to meet a friend after work for a drink that day, but as usual, she was damn late. Like very, very late, and I ended up with an hour to kill. No problem, I was near Haussmann Boulevard, so I went straight to the Galerie Lafayette to browse around at things I can't afford. I usually avoid that place because it's crowded with tourists and not very cozy, but there's several floors of stuff to look at, so perfect time killer. So here I am walking around, browsing. Oh, one thing you need to know, I had an important meeting at work that day, so I was still wearing a black suit with a red tie. Anyway, I was looking at some shirts and heard a deep man's voice speaking English very fast with a really thick accent. It took me some time to notice that he was talking to me. I turned around and saw this very big fellow still speaking very fast, looking at me. I tried my best, but I swear, despite all my efforts, I had no freaking idea what he was saying. I'm not very good with English, but I can usually understand people from all over the world. Not this guy. I could barely catch 1 or 2 words like size and shirt, but that's all. The mix between the accent and the way too fast pace was difficult for me. He was talking so fast that I had to wait maybe a minute to be able to answer. Between 2 breaths of the big guys, I managed to say, "Sorry, I don't speak English." Obviously, it was not something I should have told him. He started to speak even louder. His face turned red, and his arms were flying around all over the place. I started to panic a little bit, but understood that the big guy was asking me to help with the shopping and was not pleased by my performance. I managed to snag another spot between 2 sentences, just enough to say, "Sorry, I don't work here, sir." Another mistake. He started to speak even louder and even faster. I didn't think it was possible, but I was wrong, and I had no doubt anymore. This dude was angry at me, like very, very angry. Finally, an actual employee came to my rescue wearing, as you can guess, a suit and tie. But before he could say anything, the big fella started to yell at him while pointing a finger at me. The poor employee looked at me like, WTF is happening here? And told me in French, what does he want? I don't understand him. Surprisingly, hearing people speak in French made the big fellow even more angry. We tried to explain the situation, but all we got in return was a very long gibberish and the word manager. At this point, a woman comes to us with 2 teenagers by her side, and for 1 second I'd hoped that she could calm down the big fella or help us communicate. My hopes crashed down when the lady started to speak with the same terribly thick accent just as fast as the big fella. Probably the rest of the family, I thought. So here we are, 2 people screaming in English, pointing fingers, waving arms, calling for non-existent managers, and throwing a surprisingly amount of F-words in between. I was about to leave, but I felt sorry for the poor employee. He was looking around for more help, but nobody came to the rescue. We tried everything. Our best English, even Google Translate with our phone, but Big Dude was not interested in what we had to say. It got to be a little funny when we started to comment on the situation in French. I told the employee, do you get anything out of this? Nope, but I guess you did a terrible job here, mate. Glad you don't actually work here. Look at his face. It's so red. Man, I hope he's not going to make a heart attack. It made us laugh a little. Terrible mistake again. Big Dude don't like laughing. After a few minutes of this very awkward situation, the Big Dude's family dropped on the floor a few articles of clothing and gave us a couple more F-words and left. On my way out, I saw them dealing with the security staff, and this time, they were the ones being yelled at in French. So that made me smile. Hey guys, thanks for watching the video to the end, and I'll see you soon.